Hello boys and girls, Screen913 here, and welcome to Book 3 of Let's Read Lone Wolf, The Caverns of Kalte. Or Kalte. I'm going with Kalte. And I haven't done this for the first two books, though I really should have. I should show you the covers for the books before we get started. You know, the old cover and then the new cover, because they reprinted these things a couple years ago with much spiffier looking covers. Even though sometimes I prefer the old cover. But yeah, so we have Vonatar the traitor. And then we also have a decked out lone wolf with the summer sword, which is kind of weird because if you didn't do the books before it, you don't have the summer sword. Which kind of makes book 2 one of the most important books to read in the entire series. But we read it, so we're good. So, let's get on to business. First of all, you might be saying, well, what the heck? We didn't get to vote. I know. I was going to post a thing, the first part of the story, and then, hey, vote on my new skill and all that good stuff. But see, here's the problem, because I wasn't planning on doing this till next week. Here's the problem. I'm stuck at work, and I have nothing to do. So, I'm going to read book 3, or at least part of book 3. Which the sucky part is, you won't be able to choose my next Kai's discipline and my equipment. The good news for that is that, honestly, there's not a lot left to choose. I mean, there's only 4 skills to choose from. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose the skill that was number 2 in the voting last time, which got the second most amount of votes. Now, I won't do this a lot. I promise you guys I will let you vote 90% of the time, but it just didn't make any sense for me to sit here and do nothing when I could be reading the book. So we're going to go with animal kinship, because animal kinship was what got the second most amount of votes. It allows me to influence animals. So we have animal kinship, camouflage, healing, hunting, mind over matter, sixth scent, and weapon skill with broadswords, or the summer sword, depending on, you know, how much trouble we are in. And the equipment will be pretty obvious. Like last time, everyone voted for the equipment I figured people would vote for. So, just for this book, folks, and then we'll go back to voting on it. I promise, but you wouldn't want me to sit here and be bored, would you? I didn't think so. Alright, so, why don't we get started, shall we? The story so far. In the northern land of Summerland, it had been a custom for many centuries to send the children of the warrior lords to the monastery of the Kai. There, they were taught the skills and disciplines of their noble fathers. You are Lone Wolf, and you are now the last warrior lord of Summerland. 1 year ago, the ancient enemy of your peoples, the Dark Lords of Helgadad, suddenly invaded Summerland and completely devastated the Kai monastery. All the Kai warriors were in attendance for the Feast of Pheromone, except for you, because you were being punished. And all except you were massacred, again, because you ran face first into a tree. Good job there. You fought your way to Homegard, the capital of your country, where the king sent you upon a desperate quest for help. Your mission was fraught with great danger and a lacking magical spear. For Summerland had been betrayed by one of its own magicians, Vonatar the traitor. I wonder if he got that title before he betrayed them. No? So I guess like before it was Vonatar the Bashful? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's why he betrayed him. His agents sought to kill you at every opportunity, but your skill and strength defeated their evil aims. You returned to Homegard at the head of a great fleet, the allies of Duranor, and destroyed the Dark Lord armies that besieged your capital. Much of Summerland was ruined by the war. The rich farmlands were laid waste by many towns, and many towns were razed to the ground. But the Summerlanding are tough people, and were undaunted by the enormous task that lay ahead. They set about the rebuilding of war-torn Summerland with such determination that now, a year later, few of the scars of war remain visible. For the crucial part you played in the victory, the king has bestowed upon you the rank and title of Frey Earl of Summerland, a rare honor for one so young. The ruins of the Kai monastery and much of the surrounding lands are now Freyland under your protection. Oh, gee, thanks for the gift. Hey, congratulations, you get to watch over the land that's going to be attacked first should the Dark Lords rise up again. Good luck selling that property. Alright, work to rebuild the monastery was about to commence when disturbing news from the north prompted the king to summon you to the capital. Many merchants returning from the summer trading expeditions to Kalte told of the fall of the Burmalmark, hence known as What's-His-Face, because I am not going to try and pronounce that again, the leader of the Ice Barbarians. The description of a hunchback magician who has succeeded the fierce What's-His-Face fits only one man, Vonatar the traitor. After the defeat of the Dark Lords, Vonatar escaped to the frozen wastes of Kalte. He made his way to the ice fortress of Ikaya, where, through deception, he tricked the cruel What's-His-Face into adopting him as his magician. It was a mistake that was to cost the barbarian leader his fortress and his life. And his magazine subscriptions. He had some good ones. He just renewed them. It was very tragic. Sorry, am I rambling too much? The news that Vonatar still lives spread like wildfire through Summerland. Thousands of Summerlandings surrounded the capital and demanded that Vonatar be made pay for his treachery. So great is the outcry that the king is obliged to promise that the evil traitor will be brought back to Holmgard and made to stand trial for his crimes. For you, Lone Wolf, the king's promise is the start of a quest that will pit you against a hated foe deep within the Hostern Caverns of Kalte. Yay! Game rules? We do not need to know the game rules, unless you've been skipping books, and then shame on you. Kai disciplines, as I stated, we have chosen Animal Kinship, a skill that enables the Kai Lord to communicate with some animals and be able to guess the intentions of others, as chosen by you, the viewer. Kind of. Last week, when you were voting for another book. And like everyone out there is going, no! Okay, equipment. Before leaving the northern port of Anskaven, you are escorted to the city hall and equipped with special winter boots, a tunic, a fur-lined cloak, and mittens. You are given the map of Kalte and a pouch of gold. To find out how much gold is in the pouch, pick a number on the random number table. Now add 10 to the number you've picked. Well, you know what? We have, good lord, we had 42 crowns, folks, so now we have 50. Okay? We have 50 crowns, and that is more than we will ever need. Trust me, we're going to a barren wasteland. Let's set this up real quick while we're at it. We have endurance of 29. And we have animal kinship, camouflage, hunting, healing, mind over matter, sixth sense, and weapon skill. We're starting to become a bit of a BA, if you know what I mean. A bit of a butt kicker. Oh man, yeah. Not quite the kid that slammed his face into a tree a year ago. Alright, before you set sail, you are given the choice of the following items, in addition to those you already possess, but remember you can only carry 2 weapons. You may take any 2 of the following: a sword, a short sword, a padded leather waistcoat, adds 2 endurance points to your total, a spear, a mace, a warhammer, an axe, a potion of lambsfur, which cures 4 health points, special rations that counts as 1 meal, and a broadsword. Okay, we have a broadsword and the summer sword already, so I think we're good in the weapons department. Not to mention it would look kind of odd carrying 2 broadswords and a summer sword around. So I'm going to go with the padded leather, which adds 2 endurance points to our total. Now, I could be wrong on this. I will look it up later if someone knows, but I believe the padded leather waistcoat can be worn underneath chainmail, which you can get. Remember, we got it at the beginning of book 2 and lost it. Well, you can get it in other books as well, and you don't lose it as often. I believe it can be worn underneath the chainmail, but I don't know that for sure. But anyway, we have 2 extra hit points, giving us a total of 31 hit points. And we're going to take the extra ration, the special ration, because yes, we do have the ability to hunt for our food, but in a barren, snowy wasteland, I am not sure how useful that's going to be. Actually, you know what? Let's take the potion. You know why? Here's my thinking. Potion cures 4 hit points. Not eating a meal loses 3 hit points. So the net value, the potion is 1 hit point better. So let's go with that, shall we? Alright. How to carry equipment. We already know how to do that. We already know all this stuff. We can just go forward. Forward, I say. Yes, we know. We're level of Kai disciplines, etc., etc. Alright, Kai wisdom. Your mission will be fraught with great danger. For Kalte is a bleak and hostile land, and your foe is a master of cunning. Use the map to help you plot your course to the ice fortress Ikaya. Make notes as you progress through the story, for they will be of great help for you in future adventures. Some things are helpful, some things aren't. There are many routes to the ice fortress, but only one lets you do it with the least amount of badassery, which is probably not the one we're going to take. The betrayal of your country can be avenged by bringing the traitor to justice. Yes. If only we could take Minsk with us. Okay. Let's go! Let's go get Vonotar, the traitor. Even before you accepted the task of bringing Vonotar to justice, preparations were being made for your voyage to Kalte. The captain of the summer-loading warship Cardonal, having returned from the long Kalturasi patrol, was ordered to await your arrival at Anskaven. God, why can't they just name it like the city of Paul? Honestly. During the night, food, ice equipment, and canoe dog teams were taken aboard. The mission was highly secret. Only senior members of the crew were told the true nature of the voyage that lay ahead. The plan is to set you ashore at Haley Bluff. I yawned. I'm sorry. Drop anchor and await your return. An elite team of trusted guides will lead you from the bluff to Ikaya. Once inside the ice fortress, you are to hunt down and capture Vonotar, and then return with your guides to the ship. Your mission must be accomplished within 30 days at most, for winter is closing in and no ship can withstand the grip of the Kalte ice pack. If you do not return in that time, the captain will be forced to set sail without you. For 6 days, the Cardonal sails across the stormy Kaltris without running into a storm. Really? The stormy Kaltris without running into a storm. But every day the temperature steadily drops until a layer of ice covers the decks. On the morning of the 7th day, the snow-capped island of Tola is sighted on the horizon. Soon after, a light wind rises from the west. At first, there appears to be little danger. But within half an hour, a furious blizzard is blowing, and all sight of land quickly vanishes in the scuttling drift. All day, the furious gale rages. Tremendous winds slice the tops of the huge gray waves, and water crashes over the decks, mast, and rigging of the ship, freezing almost immediately into solid ice. The sides of the ship become several feet thick with seawater. It is not until early evening that the weather clears, and although the wind still blows strongly, the force of the gale is spent. And then we have a little picture of your ship getting its butt kicked by lightning and other things. You are soon to discover that the gale has blown the ship nearly 30 miles off course, along the lip of the Lujuk ice shelf. You know that to return to Hale Bluff would waste a precious day, so you decide to land on the ice shelf and start your mission from there. As the last of the canoe dogs are carried ashore, your guides tell you of 2 possible routes to Ikaya from here. The first route involves a 130-mile trek to Cloudmaker Mountain, and then, following the difficult terrain of the Viad Glacier, a further 100 miles must be covered before you arrive at the ice fortress. The alternative route involves a longer journey for nearly 180 miles into the Horad Basin, followed by a trek of 100 miles through the Storm Giant Pass of Ikaya. Even if the weather and your luck hold good, either route will involve 10 days of hard trekking. Before you reach your goal, you should consult the map. You should consult the map before making your decision. Alright, so we have either the trek to Cloudmaker and to the Vad Glacier, or the Horad Basin. Let's go take a look at the map, shall we? Right here. Wow. What the? I don't want to download it. I just want. Thank you. I'm trying to enlarge this so you can actually see it, kind of, sort of, because it's a tiny map. All right. We are at some ice shelf here. We were supposed to be dropped like here, maybe, but we're actually like here. I don't know. I can't tell. Everything's so tiny. But our first choice is to go like this way, and then here. So like Yeah. The first choice is to go like here to there, and the other choice is to go like here to there. Oh, because that makes such a difference. I don't know. No, wrong one. There we go. Okay, gotta go back to, and I gotta pull this out. Alright, that right about there. Maybe one more. There we go. I think that's got it back to normal size. Does it? Oh, let's just, tell you what. Let's use the random number table. If it is 0 through 4, we're going to the shorter but more difficult route. If it's 5 through 9, we're going the longer but easier route. Alright? Hey, we're going the longer but easier route. Yay! You are to travel to Akaya by sledge. 2 sledges have been loaded with enough food and equipment for the mission, each drawn by a team of 6 canoe dogs. The sturdy breed is native to Kalte and make ideal sledge dogs. Their thick, tawny coats and powerful chest, as well as their renowned vigor and enthusiasm, make them well suited for the harsh work ahead. I'm sorry, I had to stop for a second, and there's something really funny I wanted to bring up. I'm on our forum debating what makes a role-playing game or not, and someone was saying how in like Dungeons and Dragons pen and paper games, you know, the only limit is your imagination, and I went in there all clever and I was like, I don't know, a massive angry red dragon can be kind of a pretty big limit. And then someone was like, well, not if you brought the magical torch of shimmering something. And I was like, I brought a long sword of metal, does that count? And the answer was pretty much no, you're screwed. Yeah. Sorry, what were we doing? Yes! Okay, so your 3 guides, Irian, Fëanor, and Dice, are all experienced trappers. They are skilled at survival in this icy desert and have experienced its many unseen dangers. Once the dogs are in harness, you and Irian climb aboard your sledge and signal to the others to lead the way. Starting across the frozen expanse of the Lajuk ice shelf, you see the white glare of the Harad Basin's edge. Ice blink, they call it, says Iran, his eyes glinting from deep inside the hood of his fur jacket. It's the reflection of the ice shelf. It looks no more than 4 miles away at most, but it's nearly 40. It's nearer to 40 than 4. The air of Kalte can be very deceptive. The weather is bright and windless, and you make excellent progress on the first day. As darkness sets in, you decide to set up camp for the night. The sledges are drawn together, and tents are erected in a salient away from the wind. If you have the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense, I do have that. You'll hear me say that more and more as these books progress. Until we start book 6, and then you'll be like, no, I don't have any of these skills. Alright. You get an uneasy feeling that someone or something is watching you. You leave the tent and peer into the night for some sign of life, but the snow and the darkness hide everything. Reluctantly, you return to the tent and go to sleep with one hand by your weapon in case of surprise attack. Well, great. Does anyone get the feeling that Sixth Sense is just playing with us now? Like, oh, I sense something's out there. What? I don't know, but it's something. Sixth Sense is just giving you the middle finger. Alright, when you awake, you sense that something has changed. It takes nearly a minute to realize that the incessant howling of the night winds has ceased. It's a beautiful morning, says Iran cheerfully, his head appearing through the tent flap. You quickly climb out of your sleeping furs and stare out over the icy landscape. Where was I? Oh yeah. The Kalte air is fresh and clear. You see a strong mirage in the distance that seems to throw the land up much higher than it could possibly be. We should make it to the rock by nightfall, says Fëanor, as he busily pulls a reluctant canoe dog into its harness. Best to make camp there tonight. The shelter is good, this far from the sea. A blizzard can whip across the shelf from nowhere in a few minutes. I've known trappers to be blown from miles if they're careless or unlucky enough to be caught out on the shelf with no cover. That day, the canoe dogs pull strong and true, for the going is smooth across the ice shelf. By nightfall, you reach the rock, a splinter of granite that has thrust through the ice shelf. Its curious shape reminds you of the King's Citadel in Holmgard. You make camp on the leeward side of the rock to avoid the worst of the night winds. Choose a random number. 3. You know, I never do well at these. You see, look at that picture. Obviously, I am not... I suck at the random number thing. For anyone who's just listening to this, it's a picture of a dead guide and some sort of monster. Yeah, this is going well. The following day, a strong wind rises from the north. Hour upon hour, it blows relentlessly in your face. The Leduc ice shelf becomes a mass of twisted slabs of ice, jutting upwards at every angle. Progress is slow and difficult. By midday, you are shivering with cold. Your lips are cracked and bleeding, and the icy blasts have covered you with a thin film of snow. You steer your sledge through the narrow path at the ledge of the ice shelf where it meets the Horrid Basin. Here, you are sheltered from the wind, but for the first time today, you can see ahead. Oh, and for the first time today, you can see ahead quite clearly. Suddenly, shrieks from above warn you that you are not the only creature seeking shelter here. Within seconds, 3 large Baknar jump from the ice wall and land in a crash upon the sledges. Your fellow driver, Iran, is thrown against the ice and collapses unconscious. You are prevented from going to his aid by a hungry, carnivorous Baknar. There is no hope of evading it, and you must fight it to the death. Endurance, combat skill 19, endurance 30. Alright, let's do this. I have full endurance of 31. I believe 31? Yeah, because 29 plus 2 for the armor is 31. Alright, let's do it. Has a combat skill of 19. That's a pretty good combat skill, actually. Endurance at 30. Let's kick its butt. Alright, let's do this. Alright, I lost none, and it's down to 16. Wow, I must have gotten a really good roll there. I'm down to 26, it's down to 12. I'm down to 24, it's down to 3, and it's dead. I only lost 6 points, 7 points there. Not bad. Not bad. Alright. The heavy beast rolls off the sledge and lies motionless on the ice. Fëanor has managed to light a torch and is thrusting the flaming brand at the other 2 Baknar. They are terrified by the fire and quickly turn to flee. You cheer as they disappear and turn to congratulate your brave guides, but are stunned to see that they have already started to skin the Baknar. You watch with disgust as Dice opens the beast from throat to belly with his sharp hunting knife. He quickly pulls back the white fur and scoops out handfuls of thick oil from under the skin. The smell of the oil is horrible, so horrible in fact that even the canoe dogs bury their noses in the snow to avoid it. You cannot believe your eyes when the 2 guides start to rub this vile oil all over their faces and inside their clothes. Sexy. Baknar oil. Hang on.